All right, everybody. Samori Benjamin here with Oakland Athletic outfielder Daz Cameron. Daz, nice to meet you, man. Thank you for joining me. And I know your father is Mike Cameron. He played here for the Mets back in the 2000s and many other teams. But you came up in Georgia, right? Grew up in Georgia, so a lot of baseball talent coming out of Georgia. A lot of black ball players coming out of Georgia who I've gotten a chance to meet. So how was it like just growing up in Georgia and playing sports?
Man, they're year round. Most of the time it's hot during the summer, so a lot of young students who participate in extracurricular activities go and play every sport. But for the most part, living down in the South, that's something that we enjoy doing, is playing sports outside, whether that be basketball, football, baseball, soccer. It's something that everyone enjoys doing out. And as a youngin, as a young boy, those things were taught kind of by the elderly to go out and play. Just have fun doing it.
Did you play all the sports besides baseball?
Yeah. So in high school, I did play. I played basketball all the way until from when I was 7 to 13, 14, and 16. I ended up not wanting to play no more. It was just to focus more on baseball. And then during the year that of me being 10 to 12, I played football, and I tried it again up to 8th grade, and then towards 9th grade summer I stopped doing that, and then just stuck with baseball. So it was something that I always knew that I eventually had some talents in. I was very athletic, but I knew that baseball would be a lot more of a more paved path for me to play the game.
So when you stopped playing basketball, did you think that you had a chance of going further than high school, I guess, or did you have fun playing basketball?
Yeah, so it was fun. My brother actually plays for TTU right now. He's a point guard, 6'4" point guard playing for them. And,
TTU?
Yeah, TTU, Tennessee Tech.
Oh, okay.
University.
Okay.
So
Nice.
Yeah, and then so he plays basketball a lot. But when I'm not watching baseball, it's another sport I like to watch because it's exciting. It keeps you into the game.
No doubt.
Back and forth, quarter to quarter.
Yeah. So, were you a Hawks fan growing up?
Yeah, man. Joe Johnson was the guy to watch. During the times when I would go to the Phillips Arena. The old Phillips Arena there, and Josh Smith was the guy who was there. And Josh Smith actually played College Park, Georgia, which was a prominent basketball area where a lot of young basketball prospects play, and there was where I enjoyed the love it.
Yeah, I love watching Josh Smith play. He was a high flyer. He was fun to watch, and Al Horford was part of those teams too. He just won his first championship with the Celtics, so that was dope. Were you a football fan, Falcons fan?
Yeah, Falcons fan. Yeah, so Falcons. I mean, there's one thing about being in Atlanta, man. Everyone who lives in Georgia loves every Atlanta, Georgia sports. So the Falcons were a team that everyone wanted to see and wanted to make to the playoffs. They ended up making to the playoffs one year against the Green Bay Packers. During 2016, 2017, somewhere in between that span, and the city was lit up from that day. Yeah,
that was the NFC Championship game. The Falcons blew out the Packers, made the Super Bowl. But I gotta tell you, my favorite Falcons-Packers playoff game, 2002. Your namesake, my favorite player of all time, Mike Vick. He went in there. He was the first quarterback to win a playoff game in Lambeau Field as a visiting player. First time the Packers ever lost a playoff game at home. Mike Vick did that. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm a huge Mike Vick fan. They're definitely cool. So growing up,
awesome.
How did you start playing? Obviously, your dad played ball, obviously, but were you playing baseball immediately as a kid, or did it take you some time to start playing?
It took me some time, up until when I was 14 and 15 years old, to decide what sport I was going to play. And because being inside more during basketball was something that where you can be away from outside, from the weather being hot or cold, and that was something I always enjoyed. Especially for a long duration of periods, playing the sport, than to be playing a sport outside. But
right.
I enjoyed basketball, I would say, the most, and in football, that was something that I think it was a lot more talented than basketball. But of course, there's with a lot of the injuries that there was, it was more important kind of choose baseball.
Right, your baseball definitely a smarter decision to play baseball.
For me, it was.
Yeah.
For me, it was.
Okay, yeah. For you, it was definitely. So, I mean, do you know any guys who you came out with that went far playing football?
Man, I mean, well, most of the guys I went to school with, a lot of them were seniors during that time when I was in school. We went D1, we played for the varsity team, and a lot of college scouts would come watch the games and watch 7-on-7s, like during the summertime, like when it was hot outside, to see the players who I coached, who was supposed to be a D1 coach to go coach at other schools, man, to provide them for his services, but. That was something that was, very special.
So, at what point do you remember where you felt like you had a real chance of making it into the big leagues, and where you decided to make baseball your main focus?
I'll say around the age of 14, when I began to think that this could be a dream come true, and I could actually make it to play the big leagues. And it came to mind when I was in Fort Myers, Florida, during a time where the fall, where my team, who I was playing for East Cobb team, called the East Cobb Astros, went down to a tournament for one of the best ones, for a whoop-back tournament. And there was a lot of players that were supposed to be drafted in the first round who were seniors or up-and-coming seniors that year. And I performed very well, put my name on the map at 14 years old against guys who were in 12th grade and performed well. And then there was even scouts that was like sending me invites and thought I was getting drafted during that year, 2013. And that's when, from there, I'd say my passion became a lot more clear.
Right.
To know that I could make it in the sport of baseball.
Yeah. Who were some of the guys who you played against in the Georgia area coming up? I mean, I know there's a lot of guys who I met who are from the area in baseball.
In the area during my time, I would say we had Jemiah Jones. Was a guy. Taylor Trammell, Cornelius Randolph, Tyler Stevenson, Joey Bart.
Okay.
He's played for the Giants now, and Tristan English. He went to Pike County. He was a first baseman who ended up going to Georgia Tech for a couple of years before he was drafted. And then there was a handful of other guys in Georgia who all went pro or either went to college, D1 college, and then proceeded their careers after those years playing at D1.
You won the Gatorade Player of the Year for Georgia, right? That was what, 2015?
Yes, during 2015.
So that's a great honor. So what do you remember about receiving that award?
I would just say that it was special in the sense that I was picked as Gatorade Player of the Year because a lot of the talent that was in our class that year, and it was surreal for me to know that when I received it, that a lot of the things that I did as far as hard work, playing good and performing was noticed at that point in time during my career, and that's something that I won't forget when I was received by.
Now, you got a chance to see your father playing in the major leagues as a kid, so what do you remember just about seeing your dad playing as a major leaguer and being able to be around some of the teams and some of the games and all that?
I think that the most important part, man, about it was just like experiencing the life and going to the stadium every day and understanding what it meant to create a routine to play the game, to play the game smart, to be able to help your team win a ball game. And I think that from a young age, from a team, from when you play a lot of travel ball every day to now the professional ball is the same, but now it just continues to be your job, and the players are better. You get better at every level during the career.
Do you remember when your father played here for the Mets?
I do, man. During 2005, 2004, he was here. So that was a year. I think the year before he was traded. After running to Carlos Beltran,
I remember that.
Months before that, when the Mets traded to San Diego after that. But I remember a little bit. I was young around that time. I may have been 9.
Yeah, you were born in 97, right?
10, 97.
Yeah, so you were like
9, 10.
Like 7, 8. Yeah.
And I remember walking around City Field and walking past Cliff Lloyd's locker. walking past his locker, Mike Piazza, and David Wright was there. David Wright,
and Jose Reyes was on the team.
Jose Reyes.
Yeah, definitely. Pedro was on the team
Pedro
too.
Martinez.
Yeah.
And I can't go. I could, but I wasn't allowed to be in there for a long time because the game. Because when game time was, ready, that's when everything I had to go out of there. So they wouldn't let kids go around in there for a long time. But during that time that I was in there, I would go in there and see those players and be like, wow, one of these guys are MVP. One of these guys MVP, other one lost star, but they were normal people, and to see that they were actually like normal human beings made me think that this is professional baseball in the sport, and you expect to play high level, but in the clubhouse everyone's free and loose and being communicative, and it was just real to see that part of it.
That's great, at Shea Stadium, that's great. Yeah. So when you got older, when your father played for San Diego, then you went to Boston for a few years, and even Milwaukee, and when you were older, what do you remember about those years? Just being around the team when you were getting older.
The same as what I would expect being around when my pops played for the Mets, and just knowing that, understanding a preparation. For the game, and I would go out and go to BP. I remember I would go out for BP sometimes and just shag around and help throw baseballs back in, and that's where I really learned how to play the outfield, because the ball would come off the bat, and the best way to be able to learn reads during practice or any part of a baseball period of you practicing is during BP. So there's where I learned to track baseballs and run down balls and stuff out there.
Did you have a favorite player besides your dad growing up?
A favorite player, yes. I would have to say favorite player. My favorite player, one of them was Andrew Jones. It was fun to watch. Chipper Jones. Toy Hunter. And Andrew McCutcheon.
Nice. Okay, so 2015, you get drafted by the Houston Astros. So, what do you remember that moment being like?
It was special to me, man, because it was a day that was obviously something for my family to remember as a family, and we realized that my life changed from there to becoming a professional baseball player. And I carried it with the humbleness of something that I love to do.
Mm-hmm. And you just mentioned how the competition, how it just gets better and better at each level and all that. So in the minor leagues, what would you say was the biggest difference between high school and minor league competition?
Oh man, minor leagues is totally different. From AAA to big leagues. The difference that I say from AAA to big leagues, of course, there's 3 other levels before that, but the guys up here, they throw a lot more precise and harder. And as a hitter, when pitchers do make mistakes for the first 2 strikes, you gotta be ready to hit in the zone. Or it becomes tough later in that bat to adjust until you get to that pitch. And when you do, you fight over those pitches for the pitcher to throw something that you can handle. And I say that is the biggest difference. And the speed of the game. The speed of the game is a lot faster. And but the more that you lock in as a hitter, I think when you slow things down is when you perform the best. And just like any at any other level in baseball, once you're able to catch a rhythm in anything that you do, you perform and from that.
Mm-hmm. And the minor leagues is not easy; it's a grind, and a lot of all of you all have to deal with it, grind through it, and all that. So, what has that experience when you were in the minor leagues? What was that like for you?
Just learning that to understand what I had to do as a baseball player for me to be able to perform at a level every day and to continue a routine that will make me successful to do that.
What was it like for you? You found out the ugly side of the business. You got traded in the minor leagues. You were part of the Justin Verlander trade when the Tigers traded Verlander to Houston. You came back to Detroit. So, how was that experience being traded for the first time?
Man, just understanding that being traded for Hall of Fame, of course, was great in the sense that they're going to a team that wanted me and wanted me to perform with their team to someday be with a big club and play for them. And to leave the Houston Nationals at the time was bittersweet because I made a lot of friends over there, but at the same time, amazing because I was able to go to another environment to adjust, and I was able to do that pretty easily once I started to fit in there with their clubhouse and their team and the coaches as well as everyone else there.
Now 2020, crazy year. You make your debut that year, so what do you remember about that season? You probably made your debut later in the shortened season, so I know there was the first initial spring training, then everything stopped, then you had the seasons resumed, but I'm not sure if you were with the minor league club. How was that at that time?
Just unreal, knowing that there was different dynamic sets of what was to be to understand at a level of the game for me to focus every day.
Now, what do you remember about your debut in 2020?
I remember that there was Miggy on first, Candelario on second, and I hit a double down the line for my first hit. I want to say it may have been a single off of Lucas Giolito, and Cabrera and Jamer Candelario both scored that day.
Nice.
At Cellular Field against the Chicago White Sox.
Nice. What do you remember about your family being there and how their mood was?
My family wasn't there at the time because it was because of COVID, but I talked to them through FaceTime and call, and they were excited to see that I recorded my first hit after hitting one through the hole.
Nice, man. So now you're here with Oakland. What's it been like for you so far, just being a part of this organization and being here?
Great. I mean, these guys here have had a great camaraderie group of guys. Everyone is excited to be a part of each other and to do baseball every day and to be successful doing that. And I think that this team right here, with the power and the talent that we have as far as hitting, playing defense, have the whole total package, and I think that this team will be better for the years to come, year after year.
Two more for you. What's it been like for you to make it to the major leagues, be playing here, and be now second generation ball player representing the Cameron name?
Great. Just try to carry it with the respect, knowing that my last name is Cameron, and now I tend to carry that on for my young boy, who's 7 months.
Cool. And yeah, I saw your dad actually at the All-Star in Dallas. He was there. I was at the Players Alliance party, and your father was at the party. I was still in great shape, you know. Who is the most talented player you've ever had a chance to play with?
Man, the guy that I had the chance to play against had to have been, probably Mike Trout. Mike Trout was the best player that I've played.
Okay. And what's your best memory of your father's playing days as a player on the field? Your best memory?
The best memory would be to watch to see when my dad hit 4 home runs in the game.
He did.
And, against the Chicago White Sox.
He did. You were very young at that time, right?
2000 may have been 2, but I was young. I was a baby. I was at home, but I was able to watch it happen.
Yeah, your father was a part of the Ken Griffey Jr. trade. You went to Seattle, and with Seattle as a center fielder, hit 4 home runs in the game. Yeah, that was big. Okay, I definitely enjoy watching your father play, and I've enjoyed watching you play when I've seen you. So, Daz Cameron, Oakland Athletics, outfielder, son of Mike Cameron. Daz, man, thank you so much, and good luck to you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Man.
Appreciate you, man. You too.
Definitely.
All right, folks, we're back.
Back to y'all.